Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Eric. Today I'm going to talk about the 1990 film Arachnophobia. You can kind of see the poster right there. The tagline for this film: 8 legs, 2 fangs, and an attitude. So this was an Amblin picture. It was released in July of 1990. It was a summer movie that year, kind of a throwback creature feature. And the film was produced by Steven Spielberg. It was directed by Frank Marshall, longtime collaborator with Spielberg, and it starred Jeff Daniels. A lot of character actors in this film. John Goodman is in the film, and many others. I should. Julian Sands is also in the film as well, playing the scientist. But a lot of character actors in this film. The premise is Jeff Daniels plays a doctor moving from the city into a small town, and he quickly discovers that there is a spider. Deadly spider infestation in the town. The film starts out in Venezuela, the first 10-15 minutes, where we get the backstory of how the deadly spiders were discovered. We learn that it was like a crossbreed of in a dangerous combination, and it can produce venom that is deadly to human beings, as we see throughout the film. So, yeah, I mean, there's a long history of deadly spider films. I know Them, the classic sci-fi movie, that I've talked about that one, and I think there was Kingdom of the Spiders, William Shatner. I've not covered that one, but there's always, seems like every generation we get a spiders attack movie. Although it seems like it's been a while since we've had a good old-fashioned spider movie, but unless I've missed it. But anyway, if there is a modern one you know of, let me know. I'd be curious. Be curious to know. So the template for Arachnophobia, it really takes a lot from Jaws on one hand and Gremlins, those two Spielberg films. Also a lot of Stephen King, I think, in the story, where we're in this small town. I guess it's supposed to be. It was filmed in California. I'm not sure exactly in the United States where the town is, but like Stephen King, there's all these quirky characters in the town, and there's all these vignettes where we kind of get to know the various characters in this town, as Jeff Daniels, kind of a fish out of water, and he finds out the old doctor, in fact, does not want to retire, so that complicates things. But just, these characters. John Goodman plays the exterminator who helps out, and Julian Sands comes in as the scientist. I remember in the trailers, John Goodman was like kind of featured strong in the trailers, but he's not in the movie that much. He's maybe only in it for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, if that even. But you have the Gremlins set up as well, where you have, spiders taking over this town and wreaking all sorts of havoc. I think you also have Jaws, where you have people not taking the threat seriously, not believing, and so there's a little bit of that. You also have, like with Jeff Daniels, kind of, you have the everyman character, and like Brody from Jaws, and Julian Sands as a scientist, and John Goodman as kind of the working class expert on critters and vermin and that type of thing. So yeah, the script really has that influence and structure to it, combined with all the whole character of the town and things like that. You could put other movies along with this one, like The Burbs, I think fits in with that. Joe Dante. So all these films of the era they're all of the same type. I mean, the Amblin movies of this type, though, like the whole brand was a family-friendly film that would be like a thriller, or maybe light horror or light science fiction. Maybe sometimes you get a PG-13 Amblin film, but typically, though, it would be like a film that parents and kids could go to and maybe get some thrills and some comedy. And there's a lot of comedy in Arachnophobia as well that I think, will endear you to the film if you've not seen it. I don't think it's streaming any you can buy, you can rent it to stream it, but it's not. It always annoys me. Like, why isn't this movie like on Netflix or some major streamer? But it's not. You would think all these movies would be easily available. That drives me crazy. But anyway, not to not to get too far off topic. But I don't have a ton of things to say about Arachnophobia other than the film's just a lot of fun. I think it holds up well. There's a lot of like just kind of mini vignettes in the film where the spiders are threatening people. Sometimes they get away, sometimes they don't get away. The climax is really wacky with kind of Jeff Daniels in his basement fighting off the spiders, and so there's just it brings. If you go to see this at the theater, you're going to be entertained, okay? Unless you're afraid of spiders. If you are someone who doesn't like spiders, you might have trouble with this movie. I remember when this movie came out, I heard that where people were talking about leaving the theater and feeling itchy or scratchy when they left the theater, and I had a little bit of that this time watching it because it's relatable, right? Everyone, you come across like a big old creepy spider sometimes in your house or whatever, and it's always a relatable topic, I guess you could say. So yeah, like I said, not a lot to say about Arachnophobia. Like I said, it's just the film really goes down easy. It's very much of its time. I think the Amblin movies of this type were kind of on their way out by this time, where that era, I guess it maybe started with E.T. in the early 80s, and then you get like Gremlins and some of the lesser known ones like Batteries Not Included, or I think Harry and the Hendersons, or some of the Inner Space, another one. Some of these films that aren't maybe as well known today. So, but I don't know. I guess film culture was changing in the 90s, where a movie like Arachnophobia would kind of go out of style, I suppose. So, anyway, those are my thoughts on Arachnophobia. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye.